Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Fallout Season 2. Today we'll be reviewing Episode 5. Not much happens in this episode, so this should be a quick review. Here we go. Let's get right to it and see how long this will take us. So we pick up right up from where we left off last episode, with the Deathclaw emerging from Gamora. But now, there's a twist. It turns out there wasn't just one Deathclaw, there was another Deathclaw off to the side. But actually, double twist, there weren't two Deathclaws, there was actually a third Deathclaw over on the other side of the camera that was also hidden. But now he's there. Did he come out of a hole? Was he hiding behind a curtain or something? I don't know. One minute he wasn't there, and next minute he was. But actually, wait, I thought there was another. Let's see. Oh, okay. I thought there was a fourth Deathclaw, but no, there's just three. So obviously, Lucy doesn't know what to do. She defers to Cooper, and Cooper tells her to run the hell away. So that's what they do. But they don't get very far when a Deathclaw has them cornered. They're hiding behind a car. And, yeah, there's cars here. When I feel like these cars would have either been salvaged long time ago, or repurposed, reused. Yeah, I don't see. It would make sense to see cars if this was taking place like maybe a year or two after the war, after the bombs dropped. But this is 250 years, and there's still cars just on the strip, hanging around. Yeah, like I said, that doesn't make sense. The only way it would make sense if these are actually repurposed, reused cars. That I guess Mr. House had them reused for someone to use. I mean, he's no longer mobile, and his minions are all robots. So I guess these are the cars of multiple Wastelanders throughout the Mojave and other territories. That's the only explanation. It's a silly explanation. It doesn't make sense with what we've been presented with, but it's the only way it can make sense. Because like I said, if these were pre-war cars, then they should have been decimated, destroyed, salvaged, sold, whatever. They shouldn't be here. If these were pre-war cars that were found somewhere else and reused there by multiple Wastelanders, and then these Wastelanders all came to Vegas after learning about the potential of winning big and stuff, and then suddenly Deathclaw emerge from underground or somewhere. We still don't know where the Deathclaws came from, why they're here, where there's a nest, and okay. And another thing, let's get to it now since we brought it up. It's a little bit out of order, but I thought in the previous episode, I thought that both Freeside and New Vegas were gone, because outside the gates we found a lot of ghoul kings, and what looked to be like a ghoul king, like a king, like the leader of the kings. So I thought Freeside must have fallen. Then we go into New Vegas, the strip, and there's no one there, no power, no people, and a giant Deathclaw nest. So then I assumed that both Freeside and New Vegas fell, but that wasn't the case. Somehow, Freeside is still active. It's still operational. There's still people in it. But then, New Vegas, there's Deathclaws inside. So that means that the Deathclaws either jumped, like Hulk jumped, over all of Freeside, they were airdropped in, or they did they put on big hoods and walk through Freeside and then enter. I guess if they were brought in as eggs, not as Deathclaws, someone just smuggled in a bunch of Deathclaw eggs, and I guess as a prank decided to scatter them all over the New Vegas Strip. I I guess you could get away with that, but again, that doesn't explain what is the explanation, the official explanation for these Deathclaws. So I don't know how. Like this is like a locked room mystery. How did the Deathclaws reach the New Vegas Strip without having to cross Freeside first? If they've been through Freeside, then the people there either should have been dead or hiding or whatever. But and I guess the other question is, you've already got such a big, promising nest location uh, in Freeside, so why ignore that and continue to New Vegas? Are they saying that because Deathclaws used to be a government project, that these are like secret CIA Deathclaws? Are they secret agents sent here to cause what's the word? Disorganization in New Vegas? It's like when when the CIA wants to topple a dictatorship somewhere, so they send a bunch of people to like fund the local um militias or whatever to cause chaos in the country. Did the government send Deathclaws to cause trouble for Mr. House? I don't know. I don't know. Um, Again, if that's the explanation, it still contradicts the actual explanation. So I should probably wait until we get to the actual explanation for where these Deathclaws came from before we discuss the Deathclaws just deciding to nest in the middle of New Vegas, ignoring all of Freeside for some reason. Um, okay, so we'll put a pin in that and we'll continue. So, Lucy and Cooper are cornered. They've got nowhere to go. And just when that happens, they happen to glance at their side to see Dogmeat running towards a little, just a conveniently sized doggy door thing, in the sheet metal door. There's a little hole they can squeeze through. So they go, oh, let's go over there. So they run into it and slide under it, and that's it. They're out. So if you were hooked on the last episode's cliffhanger because you thought there was going to be a big Deathclaw battle, sorry. There isn't. They're probably saving it. If there is, they're probably saving it up for the finale. But right now, there isn't. So, yeah. So now we head back to Freeside. Because obviously that's where the door leads. And we see... oh. Right, hold on. It's weird that it's weird that the Deathclaws didn't follow them. I mean, there were only one sheet metal door behind. feel like they could easily bust through that. Why did they ignore that? Yeah, and now suddenly it's daytime. So how much time did it did it pass? Did they go to sleep somewhere? I don't know. It's a little bit disorganized, but yeah, it's nighttime. They're running away from Deathclaws. They slide into the door connecting Freeside and New Vegas, the New Vegas Strip. It cuts to the cold open intro sequence. Cuts back to them standing in Freeside in the middle of daytime. So I guess you're just left to guess what any events happened between them there. But I mean, not. It doesn't seem like a lot of time has passed because the first thing Lucy asks is what's up with those big lizard things. So, are you telling me that throughout the night she didn't ask anything about that? I guess she was just too shocked to ask. Or my other theory is that when they slid under the door, like, I don't know. Maybe from how terrified, yeah, the adrenaline rush from the terror of facing down a multiple Deathclaws overwhelmed their bodies so much that they just passed out then and there, and they just woke up now, in the daytime, and now they've picked up their conversations. So, if that's the case, then I guess that makes sense. And yeah, she's asking about the Deathclaws, and it cuts to the gate that they just slid under, and you hear Deathclaw noises. So you must know where your prey is, right? Are they just not hungry, or are they like super territorial where if anyone tries to enter the strip? Oh, is that it? Oh. Did Mr. House run out of Securitron, so he genetically engineered some Deathclaws to be his security? Oh, man. I don't know. I guess if that's the explanation, it would make sense as to why they're not trying to attack anyone outside the gates. But, that'd be crazy. But, wouldn't surprise me either. So, I don't know. I don't know what to believe anymore. So, where were we? So now it's just it's a little quiet time. Cooper finally explains to Lucy why what he's doing. I mean, she heard him. I mean, at the end of season 1, she must have heard him say, "Where's my family?" to Hank, right? So she knows that he's looking for his family. But I guess this is the first time he explained to her exactly what his family's situation is. He says that both his wife and his daughter are cryogenically frozen, which, again, is weird considering how the show started off with the nukes dropping and Cooper taking his daughter up on a horse and running away. So what I was gonna assume from that when we cut to him being a ghoul was that somewhere along the way, kind of like a Last of Us situation, he lost his daughter, and that made him a whole lot jaded and stuff. Maybe she didn't get ghoulified. Maybe maybe the radiation killed her outright instead of turning her. Maybe maybe she just got killed by a random wastelander. But no, somehow we go from Cooper and daughter on horseback running away from a nuclear explosion to Cooper is far away in California as a ghoul, and his wife and his daughter are in an underground vault in Nevada, cryogenically frozen. So, I don't know. Okay. I mean, I guess the explanation could be as simple as his wife tracked him down and like I don't know, tranked him or something, drugged him, took his daughter and ran, and that's the last he saw from them. And I guess he knew that Hank was a Vault-Tec guy from before the war, so maybe he knew that he and his wife were working together on this project or something, so that's how he came to the conclusion that Hank must know where his wife is. So, yeah. It's a bunch of stuff for. I guess it's a bunch of stuff for people who've forgotten what the plot is, I guess. It's a good little reminder. But yeah, I guess at the same time, it makes sense for him to say that to Lucy because she doesn't know a whole lot about him. So this is like a little, I guess you could call it like a bonding moment or whatever. But yeah. But all of that is interrupted when Lucy suggests that we just go back there and try to finish the job. And Cooper says you can't just waltz past a pack of Deathclaws. And Lucy scoffs, like, they're called Deathclaws? Yeah. I know it's not the most original name, but I don't know what. Do you want them to be called, like, you know, Giant Lizard, Godzilla? You got a better name? It's clearly something like unnatural, inorganic, something. No, not inorganic is a wrong word, but it's clearly something not natural, not something of this world. So, giving it a name that is also like so mishmashy, so like nonsensical. I guess it makes sense in its own way. I don't know. Am I being biased here? What would you call that? You know? Like a dinosaur? Would you call it by its like scientific name, like Lizardus giganticus or whatever? Like, come on. But whatever. They were just making fun of everything because I guess they think their material is better somehow. All the fucking incest jokes and masturbation jokes. That's clearly more highbrow and more intellectual than Deathclaw. I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking. Yeah, so Lucy still got the itch. She needs more drugs. And Cooper finally has enough and goes, you know what? This bit is not fun anymore. So here you go. Here's some money. Go over to a general store called Sonny's, which I guess it must be a new establishment, something that opened up after the events of New Vegas, because here in Freeside we see the King's School of Impersonation, we see the Atomic Wrangler, and we see in the distance something that is standing where the Silver Rush should be, but I can't make out the sign. It doesn't say Silver Rush. It might be. It just might be a different font or something, a different color. But yeah, so we have the Atomic Wrangler, possibly the Silver Rush. We have the King's School of Impersonation. So why not Mick and Ralph's? There's already a general store. It's a little bit far away, but whatever. You could just cut to it. But no, we got to go to Sonny's. And I guess considering what became of Sonny's, I guess it's a good thing they just picked a new store out of nowhere instead of going after Mick and Ralph's. But anyways, so he tells her about Addictol, which, you know, like I said, that was something I would have suggested, but I guess it's in his character for Cooper to try to turn her to become more like him. That includes doing a lot of drugs. So, but now he's changed his mind, or he's just annoyed, possibly annoyed. So yeah, tells her to go buy some Addictol, and he's gonna go get fucked up in the meanwhile. So he heads into the Atomic Wrangler, I'm guessing. And inside, we see the interior of the Atomic Grinder. And actually, we see the signs, little promotional posters from New Vegas, the game. That's great. I actually like the design of the Wrangler for the most part. It looks more modern um, than we saw it before. But, it's been 20 years. It looks pretty clean, too. So, it's well maintained. But inside, we don't find the Garretts. We don't find, was it James and Lisa? Or is that, isn't that, isn't that Team Rocket? No, that's Jesse and James. We don't find the Garretts inside the Atomic Wrangler. Instead, we find some guy. I don't know what he is. What he is. I don't know who he is. I don't know what his name is. They don't show it. Maybe they show it in the credits, but this is who's running the Atomic Wrangler. That's fine, I guess. I would have preferred to see, but I mean, if the Garretts were like in their mid-30s in New Vegas, now they'd be in their mid-50s. Yeah, it's fine. I would have, I would have preferred myself if I was like running the show. I probably would have put in, slightly aged up Garretts here. It would be member berries for the audience, but for people new to the show, it'd be like just some two old people running a little saloon. It's fine, no big deal. But yeah. So I guess because the place is empty, old bartender here decides to just dump some exposition. Right? Did I say it right? Basically, he decides to fill in the gaps for the story, and he explains that these Deathclaws came from Quarry Junction. Yeah, that's the official explanation. These are Deathclaw from Quarry Junction. Right. And Quarry Junction is down here. New Vegas is up there. So how did the Deathclaws march onto New Vegas? Did they like go from the opposite side? But how did they get past the wall? Or the gates or whatever? Did they dig from underneath? I guess if they went from the opposite direction, which that's where they will be if they came in from south, from Quarry Junction, they would first be faced with Michelangelo's workshop and Vault 21, and so forth until you get to the Lucky 38. Okay. That's how they did it. I still don't know how they did it, but if that's how they went about it, if that's the direction they took, again, there's still the big problem of how they entered the fortified walls of New Vegas. But other than that, if they went from the opposite direction, I guess that would make sense if why Freeside wasn't attacked. But would it? I feel like Deathclaws hearing a bunch of people on the other side of the door, and none of them decide to barge in and have a couple snacks, feed on the populace. I don't know. Yeah, that's also a bit weird, isn't it? But unfortunately, this is no time for explanations because we just keep going. Came from Quarry Junction, fighting around the strip. Big whoop. So yeah, the people of Freeside, or at least this guy, this gentleman here doesn't really care what goes on in the strip, but he phrases it as just another change in management. He's saying like, oh, it's 1 second it's the NCR, 1 second it's the Legion, and 1 second it's House's Securitrons, and this time it's a bunch of Deathclaws. Whatever. It's all the same. Is it? I'm not sure how. With Deathclaws, I don't know. With the NCR or the Legion, maybe the Legion, would they barge in and start eating people alive? I don't know. I feel like there's some difference between bunch of NCR soldiers, bunch of Legion soldiers, bunch of Securitrons. I feel like there's a difference between that and a bunch of giant radioactive FEV infused lizard monsters living next door. I feel like there's a bit of a difference, but whatever. Oh, he says as long as they ain't charging me taxes, I don't care. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I feel like once Deathclaws bust down your doors, I feel like you've got bigger concerns to worry about than taxes. But does he actually know what a Deathclaw is? Has he ever seen one, faced one? Maybe he thinks like Deathclaws is just a name of another faction or something. No, he says don't charge me taxes, the lizard people or whatever. So he knows they're lizards. But yeah, anyways, Cooper finally tells him to fuck off, so he does. And as he's sitting there in this bar, drinking away his sorrows, he remembers the time of the past. We go back to flashback times, where, if you remember, the last thing we saw of Cooper was him heading with his wife to Las Vegas, her to deliver the cold fusion thingamajig to House, and for him to go through with the plan to kill Mr. House. But before that, we get a little snippet from Galaxy News, a little news reel. And from the first sentence, I'm like, hold the phone, record scratch, what? The first thing they say is, while the government are twiddling their thumbs at the negotiating table with our communist adversaries. From across the Pacific. So the Chinese, obviously. Right? It's not the Russians. Negotiations? Were there negotiations? I don't think there were. The whole point was, and if I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the way I understood it was, first of all, natural oil, fossil fuel, was running out. And America were the last ones to have a large amount of it. And then at the UN, I believe, basically the UN asked America to, hand out a little oil to the other countries that are in need. But America instead were like, you know what? No, thank you. We're good. And they left. And that's the last time they went to the UN. A long, long time ago. So after that, China were starting to run out of fossil fuel and oil. They were still looking into alternates, but they haven't found any. So in a desperate move, they invaded Alaska as a way to, I guess at first it started as a way to, if you give us what you've got, some of what we got, if we share some of your stuff will leave you be. But I think eventually it just became, if we can't have your oil, then no one can. Um, and that's how the war and the world ended. That's how I understood it. But who cares? That's old news, you know. At this point, the current lore is whatever is new, basically. So we just sort by date, and whatever is newest, that's the official story. So, with that logic, yes, instead of what I just said, instead, America's negotiating a peace treaty with China, I guess. But yeah, meanwhile, the big tech industries are having a little summit in Las Vegas to decide the fate of the free world, led by Robert House. So, yeah. We see Cooper and his wife at the airport with young Hank. He's got, I guess he's the one that's got the cold fusion. He's got it in a little briefcase, I guess you could call it, which is handcuffed to him. So, yeah. It's gotta be something important, which means it must be the cold fusion thing. He contacts Moldaver and tells her that, you know what, actually, now that I think about it, I changed my mind. I'm not going to kill him, but, you know, I'll stop the exchange. I'll make sure that he doesn't get the cold fusion, but I'm not going to kill a man to do it. And he leaves the, I guess, poison vial or something. He leaves it behind. And, yeah. He heads off to the Lucky 38 with his wife. Outside, he sees protesters, Securitrons, and human security as well. Protesters are calling him out, telling him you sold out. There's pictures of him with the thumbs up everywhere. I guess he's become the face of Vault-Tec for some reason. We see the senator from, what was it, episode 3? The one that was fumbling around, trying to introduce Charlie. Here she's also trying to protest or something. She gets kicked out, and Cooper tells her, you know, stay strong, keep up the good fight. Okay, sure. Like, were we supposed to care there about this person? I don't know. I don't know what we're supposed to feel there. Anyways, head inside the Lucky 38, and Cooper just comes up with an excuse to be alone as his wife goes to talk to some Vault-Tec execs. He tails Hank, sees him at the bar with the briefcase, and then an elevator opens, and there he is, Mr. House. Not the Mr. House, but the Mr. House, if you know what I mean. The official face of Mr. House. And he walks up to Cooper and tells him that Mr. House would like to see you. So yeah. Still not sure if this is them changing courses at the last minute after season 1, or if this was the plan all along. I don't know, but yeah. They head up to the elevator to the penthouse, I guess, or I think, I don't know what. Yeah, the penthouse, right? He's greeted by Victor, and finally we see that same room that we've seen in New Vegas. Depending on how many times you played New Vegas, this is a room that you'll be quite familiar with. You've seen multiple times, especially if you're siding with Mr. House. We got the big computer screens, the big one in the middle, the ones to the side. Of course, the windows overlooking Las Vegas from below, from above, observing below. You know what I mean. So finally, we see Mr. House, the real Mr. House, and Cooper, of course, recognizes him. He's like, "Oh, you're the guy from the toilet," and he goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm sorry about that. I just was very eager to meet you." And I guess the reason for that is he says, "I know they came to Vegas to kill me," so he was just scouting him out. He's testing him to see what his opinions are or something. I guess what we're trying to take from that is when he was asking him about commies and how do you feel about commies, if he said, "Oh, I hate them. If I see a commie, I'll kill him right away. You know, a good commie's a dead commie." Then he'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I can't let this guy see me. He's a danger. He's a threat. He can't be reasoned with. I'm gonna have him blacklisted, or I'll just have him shot on the spot. But because he didn't give him an answer, he was like, okay, there is potential that this guy is like a reasonable man. So I guess it's meant to be inferred, but that's what I took from all of that. If that was the case, then great. If not, then well, oh well. All right. So now we cut back to our favorite character. I don't know if you've if you remember him at all from season 1. It's the chicken fucker who ghoulified Thaddeus and got a fusion core out of it. So now we've seen what happened to him after that, and he's walking down the same path that Hank, Lucy, and Cooper took. He's heading for New Vegas. When I say the same path, I mean like literally the same path. He walks like right into that Deathclaw skull, walks over it like everyone else. Well, not over it, but next to it. I guess it could be another Deathclaw skull, but I don't know. The way it's shot and everything, it looks like everyone is walking down the same path. It's like when there's invisible walls in a game, it feels like there's only one path for them to go, and if they decide to deviate from it, go right or left, they just get stuck. They're walking into the wall, invisible wall. All of this is just like scenery. You can't actually interact with it or explore it. You just got to keep walking on the same road, and it will lead you to your destination. I don't know. So yeah, we have a little montage with him. He's running into rad roaches. He's picking flowers and heading to New Vegas. Then we cut to him talking to, I guess, an old flame of his, a lost love, and trying to rekindle the flames. At first I thought, oh no, it's going to be another chicken, isn't it? But no, it's not a chicken. It's the fully integrated Technotronic officer. Fully integrated security Technotronic officer. If you remember, I don't know how many of you did the quest for the Garretts, where you have to recruit a robot for pleasure purposes, let's just say. But yeah, there he is. Fisto makes a cameo, which means that the courier helping out the Garretts is canon. Because I'm pretty sure that the Fisto routine is something that you have to upload yourself. You need like a science check to program a little pleasure model for it. And yeah, so there he is. There it is. I guess it must have escaped the Atomic Wrangler, or maybe when this new guy came in, he was like, "The hell is that? I don't need that. Get it out of here." You know, or maybe he just maybe it lived, had a wonderful and prosperous career, and now that it was starting to grow a little bit too old for this kind of game, it decided to retire finally and live out its final days in peace. But clearly not the case, because old chicken fucker here is back for more fisting. But unfortunately, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on what you're into. But fortunately for me, I guess, that is interrupted by Hank clobbering old chicken fucker here with a crowbar and knocking him out, and dragging him back to the underground vault. Now, that's great for me. I don't care, but is there like an explanation of why, out of all the people in the wasteland, he decided to go after this one? Maybe he just stumbled across him and saw that, yeah, this guy, if he dies, no one's gonna miss him. I don't know. Or, knowing this show, this guy might have been the first guy Hank ran into. But yeah, anyways. So Hank, this time, instead of doing a villain speech, this time he's doing like a salesman speech. He's saying, how would you like a chance to forget everything? Every bad memory you've had, all the bad things you've done in your life. Would you like that? And he goes, yes, please. And yeah, he has the little chip in there, and he's playing with the device, and he's slowly amping up the power, and we see him reacting to it more and more extremely, and they even tease us with the slow cutaway to the window, preparing for the splat on the window, like they did before with the mouse and that other Vault-Tec guy. But this time, no explosion, no splat. This guy took on the full power of this inhibitor chip and managed to survive. So finally, Hank got what he wanted, which is a completely healthy and viable test subject. Great, and it just happened to be Chicken Fucker, who came all the way from California. Great. Now we cut back to the Vault 31 dwellers, and they arrive at the Vault-Tec headquarters in, I'm guessing California? They're still not in Nevada, right? So this must be the same headquarters that Cooper's wife was working in. This is the same headquarters where Cooper followed her and listened to her plan out the end of the world and stuff. So yeah. We go inside, and everything is obviously ruined. There's giant barricades, sheet metal barricades, and there's blood. Some banging on the wall is heard, and people start to get scared. And suddenly, two people approach and say, "Hey, this is our spot. Get lost." But then they see that these are more Vault Dwellers. Of course, the person that finds them is old Ma June from Philly, who is squatting here after they got kicked out by the Brotherhood. I don't know why the Brotherhood didn't just outright execute them, but maybe they just managed to slip away. Yeah. So I guess because Ma June has a soft spot for Vault Dwellers, she leaves them be and doesn't do anything to them. Lets them run around. I mean, it is kind of their house, to be fair, but yeah. Um, so the other person explains that they've got a little roach farm going, and they're just waiting for them to be big enough for market. Market for what? For meat? Selling their meat? Maybe, I guess. There's not like fucking roach breeding, is there? I don't know what can you do with a red roach. You can't ride on it. You can't mount it like a horse or whatever. Um, yeah, I don't know. As pets, surely you want them to be as small as possible to be pets, not big. I don't know. I don't know what she's farming them for. Is it their milk? Do they have milk? I don't know. Anyways, um, so Norm asks Ma Jun about his sister, and of course, she happened to be one of the few people that ran into her. But she tells him that, as far as vault dwellers go, she's got no chance. She's heading towards Khan territory and stuff. She's basically dead. So, might as well just give out any hope. Which I guess, from coming from someone like her, it's not like an unfair, unrealistic sort of take on what would have happened to Lucy. I feel like if she's accompanied Lucy and saw all the bullshit she managed to walk free from, she would maybe change her mind. But as far as she knows, she's just gullible, you know, um, very what's the word? Naive, doe-eyed, vault dweller. No combat experience, no people experience, no wasteland experience. So, yeah. As far as she's concerned, she's a dead woman walking. She tells him that she can have whatever supplies you want for your journey, but, you know, after that, get moving. Get the fuck out of here. So, that's nice. Anyways, cut back to Lucy, and she's heading. She finds Sunny's Sundries, and finds that Addictol has changed prices from 125 caps to 1,000 caps for some reason. Um, and I guess Lucy was going around trying to find other ways to make money, or was she planning to steal money from people? I don't know. She was heading off in a direction, and then she stopped. Like we can only guess what she was planning to do. I thought they were going to do the same thing that Maximus did in Philly when he had to sell a tooth to pay for repairs. So I thought she was going to have to do some odd jobs, a couple of side quests, uh, so she can afford to pay for the Addictol. But instead, something else happens. Hold on, I'm just gotta blow my nose. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. So, Lucy just happened to, well, I mean, not happen. Of course, it makes sense, but she notices, I guess I should say, notices the back entrance to the store is open. So she thinks about her actions, and finally she decides to go through with it. She decides to, instead of paying for the Addictol, she's gonna go sneak into the store and steal it. So she heads inside from the back, and the guy that's running the store just happened to be walking upstairs. I guess moving supplies around or something. She notices a power fist for sale for 10,000 caps or something. Another jacked up price. It used to be 800 caps, which is, I mean, depending on its condition, it's a steal. But recently it's been changed to 10,000 caps, which is crazy. I mean, considering like one fusion core is sold for 431 caps or something like that, but bought for almost 1,000 caps. So this one power fist is equal to 10 fusion cores. Crazy. But anyways, manager walks back down. Lucy was just about to steal the power fist too, but she notices the manager walking down. So she so yeah, at first I thought she put it on the ground, but no, she found like a little duffel bag and managed to stow the power fist inside the bag. Right. And she walks up as soon as she notices the manager looking away. And as she's about to leave, she notices there's a dead guy in a dumpster, naked and bloodied. And that's when the shopkeeper, manager person notices her and is like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Now this person here, obviously he's, well, I was going to say he's a poor and disenfranchised fella, but he seems, seems well fed, shall we say. He's wearing clothes that are a little bit too small for him, but maybe these are the only ones you can afford. But, it's not his job to explain himself. This is his store. Lucy's the one in the wrong here, so it's on her to explain herself. So Lucy goes for the, "Oh, I just walked into the wrong door, sorry." Little explanation, which it's a risky one. I feel like if I was DM, I feel like it had to roll at least an 18, maybe a full on 20 for you to get away with that. But that's just me. So luckily for her, this guy's he might be well fed down here, but not so well fed up here, you know what I'm saying? So this guy's starts staring at the trash can, and Lucy notices that the poster, there's like a little framed portrait of Sonny, and he doesn't look anything like this guy standing in front of her, but he looks awfully suspiciously close to the guy in the dumpster. So Lucy puts on her thinking cap, her detective cap, and goes, "Where's Sonny?" And the guy goes, "He left town." And Lucy goes, "Oh, so he's not in the trash can behind me?" And he goes, "No, that's a guy who tried to rob the place." Which, as far as deception checks go, I feel like that's like a nice and even, like 15, 16 maybe. It's not as unlikely. But unfortunately, like I said, this guy doesn't really have the mental capabilities to... He's not quick. It's not quick on his feet. both figuratively and probably literally too. So Lucy's like, well, why is he naked? Did he come in naked? And he goes, yeah, it's not that weird for someone to rob people naked. You know, who cares? Lots of people do it. I guess the implication that he came in naked, and that's why the only clothes he put on were Sonny's clothes, which were too small for him, and that's why he looks like that. Great. Anyways, thankfully, old what's his face? Does he even have a name? I don't know. Fake Sonny, Funny, old Funny here. Luckily, is smart enough to notice that his lies aren't passing the check, and he starts going for the gun. Lucy starts seeing him go for the gun and goes, "You know what? Actually, I think I'll leave," but he doesn't care, and he goes for the gun. Tries to shoot her. She warns him, but he doesn't listen, and she shoots him, and he falls down. Now, she threatens him that if you pull out your gun and try to shoot me, I will maim you. Because that's what she constantly does to people. She shoots them in the legs or whatever. As if blood loss isn't a thing. Death from blood loss. So she shoots this guy in the shoulder, and he falls down. And she heads to him. I guess she was about to lecture him, like, see what you made me do, you young whippersnapper. But the guy fell on something, like his head hit like a metal pipe or something on the ground, and he died on impact. So I guess this is the first person that Lucy killed, because she starts to have like a little existential crisis, and as soon as she does that, a lady walks in. I thought she was like Sonny's wife or something, but I guess she's supposed to be like a customer. She walks in and goes, "Who are you?" And Lucy goes, "I don't know." Ah, get it? Because she killed a person. She went against everything she was talking about. She's become the very thing she swore to destroy. When I'm like, if I was the lady asking her that, I was like, "Oh, are you okay? What do you mean you don't know? You don't have a name? Do you not have parents? Do you what? What do you mean you don't know? What? Surely you have a name. Everyone has a name, right? Whether it's like a birth name or a nickname or something. You don't know any. What do you know? What? Okay. But anyways, cut back to the Atomic Wrangler, and Cooper takes his drink, his bottle, and walks up to his room. I'm guessing he also rented the room here. We don't see him paying for one, but I'm guessing he did. And we cut back to the meeting with him and Mr. House before the war. And to sum it up, basically, Mr. House goes, "You want to kill me?" Cooper goes, "No, I don't. But the people that wanted me to kill you, want that to happen because they think you're going to use the cold fusion thing to destroy the world." And he goes, "No, not me." And he goes, "Yeah, I know, because Vault-Tec are planning to end the world too." And Mr. House goes, "No, not Vault-Tec either. Not even them." He also tells him that let me see. He licensed a piece of software to Westech, which gave him access to the T-45 armor he was wearing. Right. So, what software would that be? I don't know. Like, I didn't even know that Power Armor has the capability to, like record and transmit data from the helmet. I don't know. He hacked into the Gibson, and now he saw, for some reason, he. Why did he choose Cooper to spy on Cooper out of all people? Was he spying on everyone and he just happened to notice what Cooper noticed? Anyway, the important thing is he did. And how he did it, I don't know, but he did it. And he just happened to see what he saw that night. The demon in the snow. The Deathclaw. He doesn't say Deathclaw. I'm explaining to you that, from the last episode. And he says, I believe that beast is connected to the future of this great nation. And to your wife. So I don't know if he's specifically talking about the Deathclaw or the FAV or something. I don't know. Maybe? Is he saying like, how we took lizards and made them big and now they're indestructible? What if we took a dip in the FAV and became indestructible too? Or something? I don't know. I don't know what he's getting at, but yeah, this is where he explains that, I use computronic algorithms and statistical analysis and stuff to predict future events, and he basically tells them that I found out through my computer analysis that the world will end on April 14th, 2065 at 5:17 a.m. Now, the show never made this clear, but I don't know what year we're supposed to be at. That's why I was constantly under the impression that we were in 2077. But I guess we're not. We must be, because his daughter looks to be as old as she was in the intro. Of course, because she's the same actress. So that's why I just put two and two together. I guess it is still possible that it's 2077. No, it's not. I don't know. Weird. So, what? So you're telling me for over 10 years, over 12 years, Cooper knew that Vault-Tec were planning to end the world? Huh. Okay. Yeah, weird. Like I said, they don't ever specify what year we're supposed to be in, so I can't really give you a definitive answer. It could be like 2055, it could be 2060, it could be 2064, it could be 2065. I don't know. But anyways, Cooper goes, that's my daughter's birthday. And House goes, it's weird how the moment you bought the ticket to Las Vegas, the date changed. It jumped forward by 1 month. So what does that imply? I guess that implies that I don't know. Is he saying that? What is he trying to say? Is he saying that by somehow, like, if Barbara went alone, she would turn more and more to the dark side, but with Cooper by her side, she gets more and more hesitant. She becomes more and more close to the light side. I don't know. So yeah. So this is where when he tells him that that people won't want me to kill you because you want to end the world, and he says no, it's not gonna be me. It's not gonna be Vault-Tec that will end the world. I feel like there's a third party involved here, and they're the ones that are pulling the strings. They're the ones that will bring about our downfall. Uh, yeah. So then, so then House puts on his fucking Brainiac helmet or whatever it's supposed to be, and yeah, that's when Cooper finally has enough and goes, you know what, you're crazy. I'm out of here. And House goes, 101,000 computations. Don't you know who I am? I am an intellectually superior creature. I am much higher intellect than you. You are nothing. Stuff like that, you know. Stuff that you would normally say, you would only say to someone if you wanted them to discredit you even more. But, yeah, whatever. I guess their point is that, you know, Mr. House is like an egomaniac. So when Cooper called him a lunatic, he hurt his ego, and that's when he started lashing out. But, yeah, anyways. Cooper walks off, heads back into the elevator, and takes a big gulp out of his canteen. His little booze canteen. And now we cut back to him, to the Atomic Wrangler. Then we cut back to the Vault 31 dwellers. And then they're looking to contact the investors. But the radio is busted. So they start working on fixing that. Norma then walks in to see a lady on her own crying over the people that she lost, you know, because to her it's only been a week or whatever since she saw them. And now she's awake hundreds and hundreds of years later, and they're all gone. So, you know, it's pretty rough. And Norm is like, yeah, so Norm notices that you're not like the other Vault-Tec people. You're actually kind and nice. Oh, God. Sorry. Gotta sneeze. Whew. All right, we're good. So anyways, so Norm notices that you know, you're actually a nice person. So you don't seem like you're the kind of person that would be into those kind of things. And she says, yeah, well, like I said, I've only been here for a week or whatever. So she's new. That means I guess she hasn't been vetted properly, and if she was, then they would have found out that she's not really Vault-Tec material. But luckily or unluckily for her, the bombs dropped and everyone went into cryo. So yeah, and that's the end of that. So Norm asks her about the experiments they were running on Vault 32 and 33, and she says, I don't know much about that, you know. Because, you know, Bud was like, he was the guy running things. So he would know. But there's also Bud's boss. And her name was Barbara Howard. She might know. She was in charge of all the Vault proposals. All. Like, are we talking all in America or just in California? Was she responsible for, like, Vault 11, you know? The funny prank vault where the computer tells you that you need to sacrifice one of your own each year or we'll kill you all? Was she in charge of that too? I don't know. But yeah. Norm asks this lady to take her to Barbara's office. She does. There we see she sees a framed picture of her daughter. Norm's trying to get into her computer, looking for anything. Um, there's a thing. Oh, I probably should have mentioned this. Oh yeah, there's a thing that Bud's number two guy is constantly talking about it, which is something he's calling future enterprise ventures. Future enterprise ventures. So yeah, that's the thing he wanted to learn more about, and I guess he thought it was something related to Vault 32 and 33. So yeah, as he's trying to get into Barbara's computer, the girl is like, you know what? I don't think you're actually one of the Vault-Tec people. I think you're just pretending, because you're not as crazy as them. So, I guess she just used his own logic against him. So there you go. Lady then goes, "You want a drink?" And he goes, "You know what? I've actually never had a drink." And I don't know if that's because his character is supposed to be like under 20 or something. I mean, I know he isn't. I think he's like in his 40s or something, because, I remember seeing him as a kid on, what was it, the Disney Channel? He was in, I think it was Hannah Montana. I remember seeing that as a child. So now, here I am, 20 years later. So there's no way that he's in his 20s. Because back then, it looked like he was at least in his early 20s, maybe late teens. So now, he's got to be like mid 30s, early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s. But, so, that's not that. So that means that there's no alcohol in Vault 32 and 33. That can't be right. They have everything. Everything, like a whole recreation of America in their vault. They have like a gym, a shooting range. They have schools, houses. They have jails. They have chapels. They have big projectors and stuff. But they don't have alcohol? I don't buy that. If they have soda and if they have food, surely they have that. Wouldn't they? I don't know. Is that something that the Vault 31 people signed up on? You're going to go into a vault. You'll survive the nuclear holocaust, but no booze. I don't know. But anyways, he says he never had a drink. Lady goes, all right, stay right here. I'll fix you something up. And she goes. At the same time, Bud's number two guy is actually lurking in the shadows, listening to them. And when Lady leaves, old number two here sneaks in. And as he's doing that, it's weird. He sneaks into the office of Barbara, and then as he's doing that, as he's walking through the door, it cuts to Norm slowly looking into the future enterprise virtues or whatever ventures. So I'm just imagining number two just standing there waiting for Norm to uncover the revelation first before attacking him, but yeah. Anyways, he's looking up future enterprise ventures, and the computer has no results. But it goes, there is something with the same initials FEV. Do you want to look into that? And he goes, FEV. FEV. Oh, that must be that. Future Enterprise Ventures. That's the same thing, right? It's not the same thing. It's the forced evolutionary virus. And just as he finishes saying that, Bud's number 2 guy yanks the cable off the computer, turning it off, and fashioning it into is it garrote or garrote, whatever. He's fashioning it as a thing to choke people out with, yeah. Norm tries to fight him off with a lamp, but that doesn't work out so well. And number 2 grabs him and starts choking him, and he's choking him until he falls down. And he falls down, he stops breathing, and he lets him go. So I thought, oh, he's going to do the thing where, I think I've only seen it done once. He's going to do the thing where, oh, you're choking me, oh, I've been choked out. But actually, I'm pretending to be choked out, waiting for you to release the rope from my neck, and then when you do that, I'll go, surprise, and attack, right? I thought he was going to do that. But instead, the guy lets go of the cable, and then Norm goes from being completely choked out, can't breathe, to him starting to breathe again. And it cuts. I'm guessing I might be looking into this too much. Maybe I'm writing the show for myself, writing things into the show that don't exist, but I'm taking from that he choked him until the point where he passed out, but didn't die, I guess. So, yeah. I guess we'll see in the next episode, but that's the last thing we see of Norm and the Vault 31 dwellers. Cut back to Lucy in Freeside, and she uses the Addictol, and we see what the Addictol does, which is just immediately remove all of the I don't know what to call it, the itch itself, all the bad juju from your body, by vomiting it out immediately. So yeah. She vomits, she stops vomiting, she heads to Cooper's room in the Atomic Wrangler, and she vomits again. And what do they do here? Oh, he just, he helps her out. He sits her on the chair. Here you go, relax. And then it's revealed that there's actually another guy in the room this whole time. And it's a guy dressed in like a plain office clothing, just like an accountant or something. And we see him from the back. He's got the inhibitor chip, and it's the chicken fucker. He dressed him and combed his hair, and he's here to deliver a message from Hank. He says, Hank says that he's impressed he made it this far, but he's actually secure in an underground facility. Can't reach him, so it's best to stop looking before you get yourself hurt. She says, take me to my father. He goes, unfortunately, I don't have permission. Hank is watching over Cooper's wife and daughter, by the way. So if you try anything funny, he might just pull the plug. So be careful. But chicken fucker goes, Mr. McClane is looking to make a deal. One family's safety for another. Mr. McClane will leave your wife and daughter alone, safe and sound in their cryo chambers, if you bring his daughter back to the safety of her vault. Do you accept? So, yeah. It's a bit of a dilemma because Lucy wants to keep looking for her father. But if she does that, then Hank will probably, if not most assuredly, will pull the plug on um, his wife and daughter. So Lucy will get what she wants, but Cooper won't. On the other hand, if Cooper ensures that Lucy returns to Vault 33 safe and sound, then his family will be safe. He'll get what he wants, but Lucy won't. Of course, that is assuming that Hank is a man of his word, which, I mean, depends, really. Would I trust him that he will keep his word? I guess, relatively speaking, I would trust him not to kill, not to destroy his only bargaining chip over him destroying it. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't actually know what to do. So I feel like the only thing we can do is try to find a compromise. But I guess old chicken fucker here is expecting an answer, right now. So Lucy tells him that you're not considering this, are you? You're not actually considering this. And Cooper goes, I the only reason I brought you here is to use you as to bargain you, you know. That's you're only used to me, so now we've gotten a chance to bargain. So that's what I'm gonna do. He shoots her with a tranq gun, and old chicken fucker takes that as an acceptance, and he goes, "I'll inform management of your decision," and leaves. So I thought, okay. So here's what's gonna happen. Maybe the tranq dart. Is empty. Doesn't have any thing in it, and he only shot her in front of him to make him think that he's accepting, but then actually turning around and continuing the search or something. But no, that's not what happens. He actually tranked her, and he's actually trying to go with the deal. I mean, I guess he's making sense with it. It makes sense. He even says that, family's a fucked up thing. So I guess he's acknowledging the fact that his actions are wrong, but in the context of why he's doing it, it's not wrong. So he's saying, like, that's the fucked up thing about it. I'm doing the wrong things for the right reasons, stuff like that. We come back to him after talking to Mr. House, and now he's just completely in I don't know what to call it, like I guess carefree mode. He just wants to keep drinking and drinking until he just blacks out and doesn't feel a thing anymore. So he walks along and picks up drinks from people and starts drinking them one after the other. And the way the thing was shot, I thought that we're gonna have like an Andor moment when Mon Mothma got drunk and started dancing wildly, but no, we get something similar to it. He gets on the atomic bomb. Instead of like a mechanical bull, it's a mechanical atomic bomb, and he's riding on it. Ride the missile. Okay. Is it a missile? Looks more like a bomb to me. But yeah. As Cooper is drinking his sorrows away, both in the past and the present, Lucy just gets up, still not knocked out fully from the trank dart, power fist in hand, arms and primes it, and full sends fucking, what's it called? Haymaker, punches him through the window onto a street lamp pole that doesn't have the lamp part, just the pole, gets skewered on it, and sitting there, skewered, and Lucy goes, I thought we were friends. And then she passes out. So yeah, I don't know what that was. Was that like the effects of buff out still not completely out of her system? I don't know. Some like second wind adrenaline rush she got. I don't know. One minute she was knocked out. She was like almost asleep. The next minute she manages to get up, put on the power fist, arm it, punch someone through the window with it. I feel like you're gonna need a lot of brain, like computer power, to execute all these moves. So you can't do that as you're simultaneously being drugged to sleep. So what's going on there? I don't know, but that's what happened. So just gotta deal with it, I guess. In the past, Barbara finds Cooper after he fell off the missile or bomb or whatever, and they go to their hotel room together, and Cooper tells her that we need to talk. And and before the episode ends, then then Hank enters the room. I guess he was nearby this whole time. That's funny. Enters the room and what does he say? Something like we're going home or something? Hold on. Oh, does he not say anything? He just says my little sugar bomb. Oh, okay. And the episode ends. Bam. Oh. Sorry. Didn't notice that. So yeah, there you go. End of episode. Well, I guess I did say that there wasn't much to talk about, and there wasn't really. But it still took me an hour and a half to talk about it. But yeah, so sadly not the shortest episode. Not the shortest review, but there you go. Oh boy. So, I know the ghouls regenerate, but they also die from gunshots, stabs, punches, blunt force trauma. So, Cooper's dead, right? That's why they showed like his flashback and, family's important, and they were intercutting him getting skewered on the pole and him dancing his worries away on the mechanical missile. Are they saying like, I don't know, are they saying that, in the past that was Cooper's metaphorical death? Or are they saying that if it wasn't for Barbara, that would have been his death? He would have just drunk himself to death, but it didn't happen. But in the present, he didn't have anyone by his side, so that's why he died. He died alone. I guess, I don't know. But yeah, Cooper is possibly dead, and Hank is possibly taking Lucy underground or back to Vault 33. It would be awkward for her to return to Vault 33 by the time she gets back there. Vault 31 is empty, and Vault 32 and 33 go into a civil war and end up killing each other. And she's like, guys, I've only been gone like a couple of months. How did all this happen? I don't know. What's going to happen next? No idea. But I'll tell you what, if this is Cooper's last episode, then yeah, good luck. Good luck keeping your audiences engaged. I feel like, for the most part, he's been like the main attraction. So without him, if we're just focusing on Lucy, Maximus, and Norm, then yeah, good luck. But you're just gonna have to hope that you still have like a solid fan base that will watch anything you put out, no matter how problematic it might appear. So yeah, good luck to you. Episode 5. There you go. At first, I was probably gonna give it like a 3, but no, you know what? I might give it a 2, but a 2 is like barely functional. Like, it still works, on the surface. It is still an episode with editing and sound design and acting, set design, all that. So you got to give it credit for that at least. So okay, 2 is a bit harsh. So 3. That's both the most and the least I can give it. A 3. 3 out of 10. Normally I would have like final thoughts, but there's nothing left at the end of the episode for me to actually like discuss, worth latching onto. Like I said, what's gonna happen to Lucy? I don't know. Anything, whatever she wants, because that's how it always works. What's gonna happen to Cooper? Is he gonna die? I mean, probably not. But either way, he's been like a nothing character, anyways. Only held up by the performance. So I don't really care either way. What's gonna happen to Norm? Is he gonna die? I mean, I hope not. He seems like a nice fella, but if he does, what's that gonna change? He's so far detached from the main storyline that, okay, it's like so inconsequential. What's gonna happen to Maximus? The same thing that always happens. Gets knee deep into shit and then bounces as soon as things gets too hot. Leaves everyone else to sort out the mess he makes. So, yeah, I imagine Lucy and Maximus are good. Not good people or good characters, but like good as in they're safe, from whatever happens. So, even if I wanted to, I can't really care about anything that happens to them, because I know that whatever happens, it's gonna be inconsequential, completely like completely carefree, completely consequence free. I guess inconsequential works. I was trying to come up with another word, but yeah, I'm running out of words, running out of things to say, so I should probably wrap it up. There you go. Fallout Season 2, Episode 5, everybody. Thanks for watching. And, see you next week.